Hi guys, Robbie46 here and welcome to my race analysis and results for yesterday's race at Silverstone for MotoGP. I was there, had a really good time. I went up for qualifying on the Saturday and we came back today. The whole day, well, a couple of days were awesome. The racing yesterday was amazing in all three categories. Probably got the best Moto2 race that we've had all season, but just every race yesterday was just awesome to watch. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on with MotoGP. So off the line, Marquez actually got a pretty decent start for a change. He was on pole, but it was Lorenzo who got the better of him. And led for, well, quite a lot of the race, to be honest. Marquez followed him around. Rossi didn't get the best of starts. I know he started from 6th. He did make a few places up, then got tangled up in a battle with a couple of other riders. So Lorenzo straight away started with a really high pace. He had a really good rhythm. Marquez was just hanging on to him for pretty much the whole time. Rossi was making his way through the pack and got up to 4th, where Dovizioso was in 3rd. Rossi did get past Dovizioso and got into 3rd, and was hoping he was going to catch up to the Lorenzo and Marquez, but unfortunately a little gap started to appear and the gap just started to grow. Not massively, but it was just like a few attempts here and there, and then Rossi got involved in a battle with Dovizioso. Those two swapping places, and Danny Pedrosa, who never really goes well at Silverstone, but then again neither does Rossi. Pedrosa caught up to Dovizioso and Rossi, and they were together the whole race. They had a battle which went on and on and on, and yeah, he eventually got into 3rd place, Pedrosa, and I kind of thought he was maybe going to start pulling away, but he didn't. The other two stuck right with him. It was really good to see Dovizioso on the Ducati, the tyres not wearing out, and him actually being able to stay near the front. Unfortunately for Bradley Smith, his season has just gone from bad to worse. He suffered from a cracked rear wheel, which isn't a good thing. It meant that his rear wheel sensor was just completely having a meltdown, and it meant that he couldn't get any power through his rear wheel, so he had to cruise back to the pits where he got his rear wheel changed, and then he did go back out, but he couldn't do anything. Stefan Bradl, he didn't have the best of starts, but he slowly started making his way forward, overtaking Yoni Hernandez, Scott Redding, Alicia Spagro, and eventually Andrea Iannone as well. He was closing down on pole Spagro, but didn't have enough time to catch up to him. As I said, Scott Redding, he had a fantastic race. Not only did he out-qualify his teammate Alvaro Bautista, it was a bit of a strange one, because in Q1, it was Scott Redding was quickest, but he was only I think it's something like 600ths of a second quicker than Bautista. But in final qualifying, because those two made it through, he was 1.5 seconds quicker than Bautista. To be honest, Bautista doesn't deserve to be on the grid at all next season. Yeah, funnily enough, he's the only non-finisher. I can't quite remember how many laps to go. I think it was probably it was 3 to 5 laps remaining and he binned it. He was relatively high up, but well, he should have been higher up, but no, he binned it, which meant that Scott Redding, his teammate, who's on a open Hondas, which is an inferior bike compared to the factory Honda, beat him yet again. Hernandez had a pretty good race. Crutchlow, well, you can just tell he's struggling on the Ducati. Apparently a lot of riders who've been following him around the track have said that he's pretty much saving the front end on his knee at every single corner. That's how much he's struggling with the bike. Obviously he's not having the updates that Dovizioso and Iannone are having. Because Dovizioso's bikes doesn't seem to have the understeer problem anymore. It just seems to be tyre wear that's the issue. But that's just because they're in open factory class. So the hardest tyre they can have is the medium, which doesn't really last the race very well. And obviously they get their super soft tyres, which are never going to last a race. But yeah, so I think Ducati are getting there. I think maybe next season they should just revert back to normal factory so that they can use the harder tyres. Trouble is, without using the harder tyres, they don't actually know if the hard tyres are going to work with the Ducati. But yeah, it was good to see Dovizioso at the front. And yeah, that's you can tell that he's not struggling with the front end and like Crutchlow. Kamiya, he had a good race. Unfortunately, just missed out on the points. He ended up in 16th, but it was a good show from him. I think he was really pleased to have the opportunity to do his home race at Silverstone. I know that a lot of fans were really happy to see him. So yeah, back at the front, Marquez was following Lorenzo until Marquez thought, I'm going to go for it. Overtook Lorenzo, and at that point everyone thought the writing's on the wall. Marquez is just going to pull away now. But he didn't. Lorenzo stuck with him and actually forced Marquez into a mistake, which then meant that Lorenzo took the lead back. And then Marquez had to try and do it all over again. And it was a pretty good battle between Lorenzo and Marquez. Marquez obviously had in his head what happened here last year, when Lorenzo lifted him around this corner actually, and then took the lead. Marquez, well, he left a tiny gap. Lorenzo went for it, and Lorenzo came out on top. But yeah, Marquez obviously had that in his head, and they were beating 10 bows out of each other, just overtaking one after another. Lorenzo trying to snap straight back until this overtake where Marquez forced his way underneath Lorenzo. Lorenzo had to sit up, and then that meant that Marquez had a little bit of a gap. Lorenzo, I think there's about 2 or 3 laps left. Lorenzo did try to follow him. It did look like he was going to slowly catch him, but then in the end Marquez managed to have just enough lead, and won the race by 7 tenths. So I guess you can say revenge from Marquez from last year. I wouldn't say Marquez's move was a dirty move. I mean, Lorenzo basically made Marquez sit up last year, so I don't think it was a harsh move or anything. He saw a gap, he went for it, and unfortunately Lorenzo had to sit up a bit. I mean, if Lorenzo had lent on him, I think they both would have crashed. So Lorenzo could have done that, but he did use his head and lift up slightly to allow Marquez through. So Marquez took his 11th win 11 out of 12. He did have to work for it though, which is good. Lorenzo was second. It was good to see him fighting with Marquez again and showing us the old Lorenzo. Valentino Rossi, after a race-long battle with Pedrosa and Dovizioso, he did battle his way back to third again, like he did in Brno. But yeah, battled his way back and did manage to keep the other two at bay. Pedrosa was right on his tail on the last lap. It did look like Pedrosa was going to mount an attack, but it didn't work out. He just couldn't get a good opportunity to outbrake Valentino. And Rossi took third, which everyone loved. Pedrosa took fourth. Good result really for Pedrosa, seeing as he doesn't get on with the track, but then really good result for Rossi because he hasn't had the best of luck here in the past. Dovizioso should be happy with fifth because he was battling for the last step on the podium pretty much the whole race. Paul Espargaro, kind of a quiet weekend for Paul. 6th place, Bradle 7th, Iannone 8th. I was hoping Iannone was going to be a bit higher up, but unfortunately he wasn't. Elise Espargaro in 9th. Scott Redding, good result for him in 10th. A bit of speculation as to what's actually happening to him next season, but I'll talk about that after the rest of the results. Yoni Hernandez, good result in 11th, ahead of Cal Crutchlow in 10th, and Yoni's on last year's Ducati. Carol Abraham in 13th, Hiroshi Ayama 14th, Alex DeAngelis just got the last point in 15th from Leon Camier in 16th. Michael Laverty, not too bad result in 17th. Danilo Petrucci in 18th, Hector Barbara 19th, Mike DeMeglio in 20th, Brock Parks 21st, and Bradley Smith, who did come back out after getting his rear wheel sorted, finished in 22nd. And as I've already said, the only non-scorer was Alvaro Bautista, who crashed. So yeah, next season, Scott Redding, Honda have promised him a factory bike, but it's up to Honda where they actually put him, because they've got a dilemma at the moment. Obviously, both Repsol bikes are taken up. LCR factory bike is taken up by Cal Crutchlow, and Grassini aren't even sure if they're going to be a Honda team next season because they're struggling for funds. Not surprised, seeing as Bautista keeps crashing their bikes. But there's rumours that Go and Fun, Grassini, are going to be the Aprilia team. And there's also rumours that Mark van der Straten, the owner of Mark VDS, is hopefully going to buy Grassini's Honda, factory Honda, to put Scott Redding on that bike. They said they really want to work with Scott again, and that's their plans. But they've also said they wanted to move up with Esteve Rabat. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get some news about that very shortly, and as soon as we do, I will let you guys know. It would make me laugh if Honda had to do a 3-man Repsol Honda team again, like they had to do with Dovizioso when there was a clause in the contract. That would be amazing to see if Scott Redding did end up on a Repsol Honda. But we'll have to wait and see. Alex Marquez has signed a 2-year deal with Mark VDS for Moto2, which kind of surprises me because I thought they were going to set up his own team with that Altamora guy, who's Marquez's manager. Because if it's going to be Mark VDS, then there's going to be no Repsol sponsor, I'm assuming, unless they're taking that with them. And Mark VDS will be sponsored by Repsol. But it just seems a bit strange that they're not kind of treating him the same way as Mark Marquez. But But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens about his Repsol back in. Because as we know, Marquez had it pretty much his whole career. And Alex Marquez has got it at the moment on the Honda, sorry. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to rev the nuts off that like button, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!